Namaskaram, Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter, 23rd sloka. In this sloka, Bhagavan says that state of severance from union with misery is known as yoga. This yoga should be resolutely practiced with determination, free from pessimism. In this sloka, Bhagavan explains two things. One is attainment of bliss, the other one freedom from misery. So when you get bliss, you are away from misery. So both are taking place at a time. So Bhagavan says how to attain this state only by practice. So he says how the mind has to be prepared. Because we are living in the material world which is full of misery and it is compared to darkness. And when we are in Maya, and the material world is a Maya, so we are in darkness, we are in ignorance. So we suffer in this world. When we get entangled in Maya, there are sorrows, there are miseries. So naturally we suffer in the world. Because we get attracted by the things, persons, and we develop attachment, and when you do not get it, you develop that disappointment, hatred, enmity, everything. So that because of that we suffer in our life. This is what happening when you are going after Maya. The Bhagavan here shows us the way how to come out of that ignorance, how to dispel that darkness. How can we do that? Only with the grace of God. So that is the only way. So keep God in our mind and think of Him always. So God is light and this Maya is darkness. And what is the nature of God? Why should we keep God in our mind? Because He is a divine of bliss. He gives us, He endows us with bliss, divine bliss. So we get peace, we get happiness, we get knowledge from all this. Whereas when you are in Maya, you are in a state of misery only. Because there is disappointment. So it leads to frustration and it leads to hatred. So likes and dislikes are the causes for this. So you should not have thoughts of things in your mind except the thought of God. That is the way for in getting involved in meditation. When you do meditation, your mind should be focused only on God. So how to be in that position? Only by removing the thoughts of this material world. There should not be thoughts of material world in our mind. So we attain the state of it. This is how it has to be practiced. So this yoga, which is called the process, this is followed in the divine path, in Anmigam. So in spiritual path, it is very important. So when you follow this, while following this, you get, especially this sloka, is for attainment of bliss and freedom from misery. Because Bhagavan has already explained about, right from first chapter, he talked about Atma, he talked about the control of the sense organs and control of mind, then who is Karma Yogi, how karma has to be done as Karma Yogi. So all these have been explained. Now he is explaining on meditation. So how to do meditation? How meditation helps you to disassociate yourselves with misery. So only practice of meditation helps us. So this is what highlighted in this sloka by Bhagavan. So this yoga helps us to get freedom from misery. So we attain the state of perfection. To attain that state of perfection, we can reach only through determined practice. It is not only practice. You should have that goal in your mind and your mind should be determined to attain that. So when you have this determination, you definitely do it with 100% focus on God. Any work, you should have the determined mind. Only then you achieve. So here in spiritual path too, the achievement is going through divine path, and that goal is attaining Bhagavan, reaching the goal of meditation, or goal of life is moksha. So how to reach that? Through meditation. So how to do meditation? Through determined practice. And you should search for Atma, because Atma, that is in English we say it eternal essence or soul, self. So that has to be searched. We have to be in search of it. So for that we are doing inward journey. It is not available in the outside. We are going inward journey with the determined pace through meditation, because it cannot be touched, it cannot be heard, it cannot be seen, it can be only felt. So for that, this meditation is explained by Bhagavan, how meditation has to be done. So there should not be thoughts at all. No thoughts of material life. When you have thoughts of material, there will be only disappointments. There will be one enmity. There will be greediness. So all these things will be there, because we always are after the objects of senses. So naturally when we don't get it, when we have it also, we like to get more and more and more. So always there is, we don't have that happiness. Always there is we are under stress. So we don't enjoy the present life, and we are always in some sort of disturbances. So your mind is not pure, it's not calm, and you are not able to concentrate on Atma. And Paramatma lives in Atma. So we are living with Atma and Paramatma every minute, if we go by a spiritual path. So this is like a person having a bag, and he is keeping, for every person he dislikes, he keeps one stone inside the bag. So what happens? The bag becomes, naturally it becomes full, so it becomes heavy. And how to empty that? So he says, for every stone is at every stone refers a person whom I don't like. So how to reload it? I write, I forgive you. Because of this, you write on every stone, because we are writing the name on every stone and we are putting it inside the bag. Now you write, I am forgiving you, and for what reason? Then you throw it out, drop it outside. Then what happens? The bag becomes empty. So your mind becomes empty. There is no enmity, there is no lust, there is no greediness, nothing, hatred, nothing is in there, because you have made the bag empty. So you have sent out all the negative feelings in your mind, and you don't have any thought. When you have disappointment, when you have frustration, only the thought of the object comes to your mind frequently. But now you have removed everything, so your mind is pure now, because you don't have any other thought. So you can very well have thought of God alone in your mind. So your mind is ready now for meditation. And this is how we have to prepare ourselves. So what happens? There is no sorrow in your mind. And here this sloka, through this sloka, what you learn is disassociate with sorrow. That is what in the sloka Bhagavan says in one line, Yo dukkha samyoga viyogam. So this is disassociating the thoughts of sorrow. Then you get that divine bliss. You enjoy that bliss. If there is sorrow, you don't even feel that is happiness. You don't even realize the happiness. So this should be emptied. So you are disassociating the thoughts of sorrow. So your mind becomes pure, and you are filling it with the thought of God. So what is our natural tendency? We don't let go the thoughts. So we have to practice that. So let it be away from us. So let us remain cheerful. We should be delighted. We should look delightful because people should have the feel like approaching us. So we should present ourselves. So when do we remain cheerful? When we have no negative thoughts in our mind. When your mind is pure, with one love, full of positive thoughts, only the divine thoughts, you look cheerful. You look very delighted personality. So people will approach you. So this is how we should prepare our mind and ourselves. So to win over all this, we have to have the thought of God. We have to have the thought of Atma and Paramatma. And we should set a goal of Atmanubhava. That is, we should realize Atma and Paramatma. So the goal should be God realization. So what? So if you don't follow this Kama, Krodha, Virodha, how that is the lust, then anger and what do you say? Enmity. So these are all interlinked. One is born out of the other. So what happens when you are in lust? There are thoughts of things because you want to attain that. So the thought of the particular thing, or it can be anything, even a person, that disturbs you. Then what happens if you don't get it? You feel, if you don't like that particular person, you feel like using your language. So verbally you are hurting them. So what happens? The language takes place. So you are using that. Then what happens? You want to express what you verbally do. So you end up with hurting the body. So this is what happens. So how to come out of that? Only through meditation. Only by having focus on God. So we should prepare ourselves like this because we are living in the world where we have so many challenges. So there are many ways which cause enmity, and how to come out of all that? Only by meditation. So Bhagavan explains beautifully in this. Let's see the relevant story for this. There was a devotee who used to sing songs in praise of God, who was known as Nampadwan. He used to visit temple every day and he sang songs in front of the temple. And every Ekadasi day he goes to temple. That night he sings songs in front of God. And on one Ekadasi he was going there. Then Brahma Rakshas, devil, he stopped him and he wanted to eat him. He said, "No, please wait. I'm going to the temple and this is my routine. For every Ekadasi I go to temple and sing in praise of him. You please allow me to do. Let me complete that. This is how I get pleasure. I feel I get happiness by doing this and singing songs in praise of Bhagavan. So you please allow me to complete that. I have been doing this for a long time." Then the Brahma Rakshas believed him. After so many arguments, it believed. Then it allowed him to go. And he went to the temple. He stood before the temple and he started singing. He forgot himself in singing. And Bhagavan was so happy to hear. And he asked the Dvajastambham to move away because he wanted to give his full darshan to that devotee, that Nampadwan. And Nampadwan was so happy to see him in full form. That is, he could see the entire image of God. And he was enjoying that. And he was so happy with that. And he was so satisfied with that. And he thought, okay, I should go. I have given word to that Brahma Rakshas, let me go there and give my life. So he didn't feel, because he thought, okay, he didn't have any Kama, Krodha, nothing. Because he was happy with this Atma. That Atma had the darshan of Paramatma. So he was happy with that. So he was ready to give up his life. So he went. And Bhagavan came on the way as an old man and asked him and told him, no, there was a Brahma Rakshas, don't go by that way. But he said, no, I have given my word to him. So let me keep up my promise. So he went there and Brahma Rakshas, he told Brahma, okay, come on, you can eat me. Then Brahma Rakshas could find tejas on his face, and he had some transformation in his mind. So he said, no, I don't want it, I'm not hungry now. Then he, Nambadwan said, no, I have given you promise, so let me not go away from that, so you eat me. Then Brahmaraja said, after listening to him, he said, he revealed why he took this form. And he said, if you give me your punya, I don't want to eat you. You have been singing God in praise of God, and you would have acquired so much of punya. I want that punya. Then Nambadwan said, no, I didn't expect anything from God. I am doing for my Atma, for my the Atma's pleasure. My Bhagavan will be happy if I sing in praise. So I am doing everything for the sake of God. So I didn't expect anything. So I don't have anything with me. Then he asked, okay, today you would have sung. What did you sing? He said, I sang a song in Vaika. That day was Kaushika Ekadashi, so Kaushika Pan. Then the Brahmaraja said, okay, there is a punya for that song. So let me have that punya. Then he also felt, okay, somehow he is helping him to get out of this curse. So he said, okay. Then he gave, because he decided, anyway, my body is going to fall down, and it is perishable. So why should I bother about it? I want only my Atma to be in union with Paramatma. So why should I let me not angry with him, let me not be possessive about my body. And so he said, okay, I'll give. Then he got relieved from that Rakshas form, and he came back to his normal form, and Nambadwan also attained moksha, because he said it. That is what Bhagavan wants. He said, before I die, let me remove all this, because he didn't show any anger towards the Brahma Rakshas. He was very kind. Even before he went to the temple, he was arguing with him very calmly, and after he came back also, he was not angry. So that is what Bhagavan wants. Before his life ended, he was without any kama, krodha, virodha. So his mind was pure, and he had only the thought of Paramatma, and he attained Paramatma there. So this is what happens. So how we have to be? Now we should not have any of negative thoughts in our mind. So our thought should be only on God. Then there was a village, and that village, there are 2 caves, and 2 sannyasis were living, and the villagers used to go there and discuss with them and listen to their speech also. And they found in one cave that they could see the light. The other cave, it was very dark, and they were talking to themselves, why we find light in this cave, not in the other cave. Then one day a jnani came, a sage came to their village, and they wanted to find answer for that, so they discussed it with him. Then he said, you don't look at the external phenomena. That is not important. You pay attention to yourself, inner self. Only then you will realize that Atma, the changes taking place outside, not going to help you. The changes within yourself are only going to help. So to realize Atma, you should go inward. So take your journey inward and listen to the teacher who teaches you. So you pay your attention only on teachers. When you pay attention, there should not be thoughts. So you don't have the light in one cave and there's no light in another cave. And look at that person. When there is a light, okay, that sannyasi has got supernatural power. The other one does not have. Don't have these kinds of thoughts, because these are all only created by us. This is only Maya. This is only what you perceive. So you don't go by that. What is realized within yourself matters a lot, and what you see outside, the mind has got a creative power. So it is because of that creative power you are seeing all that. So in spiritual path, your journey should be within yourself. So nothing to do with Swamis, and listen to their teachings, follow it, and there is you cannot say that this sannyasi has got more power, or that sannyasi got no power at all. So don't think like that. So don't look at any external things. So see what is teaching you and observe it and follow it. That is very important. And you realize the soul, you realize self, you realize the essence, the real essence. So this is what the Jnani, then they all understood. So what we see outside is nothing. It is only Maya. And it is what we perceive also. It has got nothing to do with Atma. So he says, no, you should have that awareness of Atma. So you try to reach your Atma, realize your Atma, so that you can have that God realization. So this is what you should do in the divine path. So that story gives us message how we can have the thoughts of material world in our mind when you are in spiritual path. Those who are in spiritual path should have this. If you don't have belief in God, if you are, then it is not necessary at all. The Pasurams always give us more inspiration because Alvars lived by the way Bhagavan said in scriptures. So this is a Pasuram by Thirumangai Alvar in Periya Tirumodi. Notrain pal piravi nunnai kaanbador aasayinal ஏற்றேன் இப்பிறப்பே இடருற்றான் எம்பெருமான் கோல் தேன் பாய்ந்தொழுகும் குளிர்ச்சோலைச் சூழ் வேங்கடவா ஆற்றேன் வந்தடைந்தேன் அடியேனை ஆட்கொண்டருளே பற்றேல் ஒன்றுமிலேன் பாவமே செய்து பாவியானேன் மற்றேல் ஒன்றறியேன் மாயனே எங்கள் மாதவனே கல் தேன் பாய்ந்தொழுகும் கமலச் சுனை வேங்கடவா அற்றேன் வந்தடைந்தேன் அடியேனை ஆட்கொண்டருளே. So in this Pasuram, Thirumangai is describing Bhagavan who is in Tirumalai, in Tirupati Malai hills. So he is describing him and the place where he is living. So through this Pasurams he says, I have done so many bad karmas and taking birth again and again. Now I decided not to have any more birth, and though I am not eligible, but still I am taking surrender at your feet. So you are the one who can stop me from getting the cycle of birth and death. So I don't want to get into that. You please help me. I know you will do it. So he is requesting Bhagavan and he is surrendering himself to the lotus feet of Bhagavan. So he says, I know you will accept me. Though I have made so many bad karma and though I am not qualified, still you have a mind. You are very compassionate. You like your devotees. So you will do it. You will accept me. So that is what he is saying through these two Pasurams. So he says, I've பற்றுக்கோடு ஒன்றும் இல்லாதவன். I am not attached to anything. So he says, now I am not attached to anything and I am not attached to material world. Now I am looking at your lotus feet only. Now I am surrendering myself to your lotus feet. Please. And he describes how the place where Thiruvenkadavan, the Lord, the deity Thiruvenkadavan is living. So the Pasurams give us more inspiration and we can also follow. This is as Krishna says in this sloka, yes, it is possible. Practice it. You cannot attain it in 1 day or 2 days. Till you get it, you continue your effort. Yes, you will do it. So that is the message we get from this Pasuram.